All right, we are back. Trying to finish out. Let's see if I can finish out 5.5, or at least get close to it, and then we'll go from there. Good news. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on some things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, welcome party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alice, Graha, and Sapphire. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we're proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking steps towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to praise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the... I'll say third, but it's Illard. However, were notably by their absence. Were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform it? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of Aether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nearly a word exchange between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wise not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, Might he have done the same with the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove most valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he's requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay behind, looking into another matter, as I promised Kryle. We need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you hale and whole. As you are to see, as are we to see you safely return from your mission at Rianche. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, if it isn't Alpha now, and his merry band. Huh? Oh, this guy. I just realized how I said that. Arnvel, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. Oh wait, I'm thinking of the Crystal Brave guy. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you're looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Wow! Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Aors, me Elizin, are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even the great Aurochs, such as yourself, will crane your neck to meet my eye. That'll be interesting. It was not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbrita towered over me nonetheless. Arnvald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease with each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola, mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out. Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? Eh, what gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arnveld rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let's be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrix. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, It seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We're glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Now it's out in the open. I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Oh, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, He may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come. There's no time to lose. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares, the markets, and whatnot. You and Sapphire can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well, let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I shall begin at the Skystone Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Good morrow to you, Mother of Night. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap is seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent? In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
Oh boy.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
Oh boy. Here we go.
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
He is fanboying so hard.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long.
Alize is not going to forgive
No, it's quite
him
understandable.
anytime soon.
That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald. I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
Area of Azazla, but I'm not. It's been quite some time since we last set foot in Azazla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Actually, no, we didn't. Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here on the Delta Quadrant. But I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Sapphire is the person to ask. As far as I know, he is the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg was a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, or is a part of me. And I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Uh-oh. I have 3 slots in my inventory. That's not good. Time to eat some food. Of crafting stuff I need to take care of. Tiamat awaits this way.
Erdgin Enfin. Wafesk Lesnon.
My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Ah, that my sins could be repeated. My sins not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Mericidia, our children. The Icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark design.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Is there a tower here as well? Well, no, there is a tower here. I'm just gotta find it. Yes, the dragons of Mericidia are at the mercy of this Ascian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Ascians, vile millions of darkness. Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have from me, dragon, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Were I free, I would answer thine excellence's fire, but words shall have to suffice. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequences.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed. Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter. Even For even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speak thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. When our own star faced annihilation, Heidelin granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Heidelin, and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. While Porxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we'd be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Elegants kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to removing those shackles. I know Alphino and Sapphire here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star. Though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all her sorrow, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I to make me take the first steps towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you're not as young as you look. Mayhap, when our work here is done, we can trade tales over a pot of Tataro's famous tea. I am and be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. Oh my god. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we are familiar with it. The aetherochemical research facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel, containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that would seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Oriange, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines, and to keep one at the ready should the opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions. Having identified me as being of royal blood, and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit... Ow. That's a weird word, posit. That they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It would seem worth a try at least. Agreed. We'll take good care of it. To the flagship, then. I just realized there's no... There's nowhere to teleport to. Home of the Elegans. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we've learned what we can, we should reconvene, compare notes prior to proceeding. Alright. Quadrant Delta broken, possible cause intruder interference, advise deployment of combat protocols. Proceed. No. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperatures increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or threat to safety, or retreat to a safe distance. Psst. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2,020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. I'm afraid Estini and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Spontaneous, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the note of which Graha spoke. And this chirping, you say? Very well, let's take a closer look. Operate dragon restraint mechanisms. You do not have the requisite God, I'm so tired. Access privileges. Operation of dragon restraint mechanism can only be undertaken by the chief technologists and members of the royal family, or those with vessels, or with a vessel of royal blood, perhaps. No user detected commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of royal family. Please state your name. Welcome. You may operate dragon restraint mechanism when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen TMI. System update is required. System update. What do you suppose it's asking of us? Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiate guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying the system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So, can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it's received a requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction says initiate placation protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Guiding users to terminal, please, this way. Or this way, please. Let's see, according to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask, which version are you employing? Why, software version 42.002, of course. Warning, errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time for update is 5 years and 1 day. Oh man. That's rather long than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options, for instance, using this terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead? The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine it will have changed that much as long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies. I dare say we shall be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain, just tell me if we've made any progress. I would say so. Yes, it does. However, it does require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link pearl once I'm ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I will be certain to return it to Graha once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. But before we go any further, there is something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Allegheny Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Ascians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Ascians touch turns to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. And so, I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try to reach out to him too? I see little point in reasoning with the wretch, or remembering him for that matter. But perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. You think us unwise for viewing the world as thus? Far from it. That has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when You extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So, save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should get back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. Told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he's needed elsewhere. Well, that all sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end. While you were off talking to nodes, Graha and I learned as much as we could about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirmed that her aetherial balance leans strongly towards the upward, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer amount of aether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will be inevitably required if we are to reverse the effects of the temperament completely. Meaning I'll need all the ether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. Namely that Tiamat shows no sign of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. She also hasn't been in the presence of it. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put our theories to proof. Tell Alphino to disengage the restraints, ethereal dampeners. Such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with the men of Allag. Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul is to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. So first, trust you speak to her, ask her to tell you of the past times. This is gonna be dicey. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved, would that the peace we found in Mercidia could have lasted for eternity, but alas, was not meant to be. The Ascians saw to that. In all creation, I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest the men of Alec first came to Mercidia, to our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would become known as Mercidia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Charlatan scholar Marusha. She posits that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the second astral era, correct? Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angela. When the first of the children of man arrived at our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of driving kind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet, as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing even more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time, we knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to see, and soon they began coveting the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man. Blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to the strife until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him presided over affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. Until... Tiamat, you have but speech. Until, alas, those golden days of harmony too will fade to end, for the men of Alex slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Ascian. The rest thou knowest all only too well. Okay. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you're free, we'll just rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above if the treatment fails. Run. Well, if the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence, and I swear, when this is over, keep going, Alexander. Magic is working. So this is a full-on exposition of where it was. While I knew this wasn't going to be easy, no patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But we're close, I can feel it. And while I've only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Raha's, this will work. And I believe I speak for both of us when I say that you can take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
Es ließ an. Unruhig es treibt.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed. Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
Slusk an Wolfol Slusk said so.
Better to die than live as a tool of evil. You too would wish this, I know. And I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
She's in
Thou hast my gratitude, little one.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
By the gods!
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan. He flies for the largest amount of settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle. It would be wiser to gather a full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. Let's connect to Alphana and be on our way. Now, I know some of you could do with a rest, but I'm sorry to say Teleforo the Teleforo have other plans. Pagathon is already in siege. I hate when they like make these words like that. It was like, yeah, but sure. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrive just in time to join the defensive effort with Marshal Turpin at their head. Oh no, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultana would respond. It is good to hear that Ul'dah has not abandoned the Amaja. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Grace. Marshal Turpin had made provisions for such an exigency and was ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the syndicate, each of whom voted in favor of intervention. Nor is Ul'dah alone in its resolve. The other Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Pag. Yet, even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested. For we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, but Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured. But not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Amaja show signs of tempering. Strange. What primal would turn down the chance to claim new thralls? Because it's not him. Unless it is incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Asians or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those we have previously encountered. So, if that's true, anyone can fight him, and Sapphire and the others like him wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be as it may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculable foe, powerful foe, whom our soldiers will struggle to best through mere force of arms. With the aid of science, however, I believe we will fare rather better, assuming, that is, you are ready to take to the field. The nearest ship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray, set forth as you are able. Personally, you may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I, for one, am inclined to do as Her Grace requests. Lest we forget, Arnvald and Fordola are in Pag on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed, to the airship then. Okay, maybe I don't know where I'm going for this. Where am I going for this? Okay, I am going where I thought.
My turn. Our fates are not yet
I stand
sealed.
ever ready.
brain almost just picked it up. Tackle.
Slaughter and
dark self! Keep your guard up! shall protect. Stubborn. Stubborn.
What took you so long? The Amalta are in trouble. Let's split up. Oh, no, you don't.
just looked over and saw the rockets coming. Alright, take two.
Together we shall overcome this. Stubborn.
yourself! I shall protect thee. Prepare yourself!
Stubborn. Allow me.
Okay, I think this mission would have ended here, and I'll turn the last of it into another video. beloved is no more, and I shall be forever in your debt. By your deeds we are set free, and free shall we remain as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mercidia hearken to the lies of Yassians. This I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well.
Who is this? Oh! Amalja.
Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice. The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Oh boy. Oh.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
That's not a good sign. That's definitely not a good sign. Wait a minute.
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
Ooh, I already know where this is going. He's going to be gravishly injured. Grievously. While it would be too much to hope that we had seen the last of Fandaniel, we have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause for celebration. And celebrate I will when we have received word of Aaronville's safe return. Okay. I don't want any more materia. What am I gonna do with it? Okay, I'm just gonna finish out 5.5. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions. Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the frontistery. Your Grace, whatever is the matter. As our troops withdrew from Paglanth, I was able to say it earlier. Then came, hold on. They came upon 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems one of them, your friend, I believe, was wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, Your Grace. Can you tell us of Aaronville's condition, Your Grace? The wounded scout? Not save that it is grave. The Chirurgians tend to him as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Sapphire, Stinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Paglothin. Come on, then. I don't know where the infirmary is here. Now that I'm thinking about it. Wait. Yeah, I actually don't know where the, I'm going to assume it's the Ruby Road Exchange. I'm not sure. Alchemist Guild. Okay, perfect. Speaking of the Alchemist everyone come to see the lad in silver armor? Master Dami Elliot is attending to him as we speak. If you would be so kind to wait. Did you say Master Dami Elliot? Wait, what did Master Dami Elliot say? Tell me his exact words. But, you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Ornvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen. But now that it has, all we can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
She does have a bit of a point, but there is a time and place to
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
That's kind of already happened at least once. He's grown, my dear, just enough.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
I know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragment Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak. Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table, and I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Pagltharn. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Right then, unless anyone else has objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. Alizé, just say it! And that includes you, Alphino. Arnvald is in good hands here. Of course, he would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire, then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If we are in agreement, then, I shall let Crown know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It'll be good to go home. I have something to do. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try and ask him. And thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kral, in particular, has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not, will you join us? You will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding those Baldessian... Oh, that Baldessian woman. If I refuse, she would only pursue me. I mean, it's not wrong. Let's get this over with, shall we? Ah. Honestly, it's a little crazy to think that I'm 3 quests away from... No, I think in 3 quests I will no longer be a sprout, as well as I will be in the current expansion for probably about a week. Before we release Dawn Trail. Wow, Dawn Trail comes out in 6 days. Oh, technically 9, officially.
Welcome back.
I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing, a topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Oh my god, it's been a hot minute. Yeah, I'd say since Dragonsong War, because it's definitely not the Crystarium, because we have not heard from her in a long time.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own, and as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder,
Could
could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
One of us. One of us.
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo. You inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Oh, is he looking for a new weapon? Still? Yep, he is.
Well, does this one meet with your approval?
I'm gonna say no.
Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting, though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Of course they frame it this way. And that was okay. So they knew Reaper was going to be the next class. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well then, you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future, but for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals and to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. And gladly, mind you, it's the least I can do to support this Scions who risk life and limb, like poor Arnval. I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping the roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles, now would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. Okay. And with that, we are done with 5.5. I am 3 quests away from Endwalker, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here, jump into 5.55, which will come out next week, and then I will be starting on Endwalker. But until then, as per usual, be good to yourself, be good to others, and of course, stay true to you. Laters.